Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, June 17th. As promised, all summer, as long as it's feasible, weather permitting, I will be doing PNN pop-ups from outdoors because I want to share the beauty with you. So I'm in a little spot, kind of a public park that was bequeathed to this town of Rockport by some nice generous folks that left it behind for people to enjoy. Some wildflowers behind me. I feel the collective rage in the country, I really do. I kept trying to figure out what was going on with my own personal frustrations and thinking I'm a little bit too angry. So I kind of attribute it to that there's more than just my personal financial frustrations going on. Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at, he's threatening to go to war with Iran. I don't know why. So let's take a look. The first thing that I get is Putin. I'm not really sure how that would benefit Putin, or if it would, or if Dumpy has any idea what's going on in any way, manner, shape, or form whatsoever. So let's pull 4 cards about that whole debacle of him saying he's about to send U.S. troops into to go to war with Iran. I just want to mention here that a little while back, Rick Steves, you know, the travel guy, Rick Steves went, you know, he kind of jumped through several hoops to get to go and do a show on Iran. And when you get to see human to human, which is why I really respect Rick Steves so much. He used to be a piano teacher like me. You get to see the human to human contact, and I think it's like a spiritual calling for him. Become very successful at those travel shows, but he did go to Iran, and the people just loved America, and they were so happy to be on camera with him, and he took pictures with the people, and they were just lovely people. So when we talk about Trump bombing Iran, you know, and you just think about the dictators there and the authoritarian rule and the women have to cover their heads and all that. Let's not forget the beautiful people. You know what I'm saying? And he's just such a dork. Look, this card just flipped over. It's like, look, Annette, you're in a meadow. Well, let's use the pendulum first. It was a little windy here, but it died down. So I think I can do this. This pendulum has some weight. Is Dumpy planning to go ahead with going to war with Iran? Is he planning that right now? It doesn't feel like it has any substance because it's just a wait and see kind of a thing. Let's do this. Is there anybody in our military in charge who will kind of, you know, reel this tension in? Yes, there is. They're not all MAGA. We saw the army marching not in lockstep at his crazy military parade. All right, 4 cards about that. Tell us more about this whole thing that's going on with Iran. Now remember, dictators and authoritarians, which he's a wannabe, let's be clear, we're a democracy. Authoritarian dictator wannabes, part of their whole shtick is they have to create a major dramatic distraction. It's part of the whole playbook. He does it all the time. He never stops doing it. So the maize card is coming up. Remember that came up about Elon yesterday. So I'm asking about Dumpy and the threats to attack Iran, to go to war with Iran. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. He's just like being loud and confused. He's being a loud and confused weirdo. That's how he's being seen on the world stage. He's a loud and confused weirdo. That's pretty apropos. And I also got the Grim Reaper. So for 3 days in a row now, 2 or 3 days in a row, when I read on Dumpy, I'm getting cards that are pointing to end of life. I'm not going into specifics, but I just want to say for sure, the end of his life is on his mind. So he's being extreme, of course, but even extra extreme because he's thinking about his end. Thinking about it. So yeah, I would say he's just being an idiot, a weirdo, an idiot weirdo, and that's what's going on there. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's pull 3 cards about Iran. How Iran's gonna, actually I'm gonna pull some tarot cards about Iran. If you ever get a chance to visit this area, Rockport, Massachusetts is kind of part of the same area. If you haven't been able to tell, I basically live on an island. It's really just connected by a bridge. Rockport's a really nice place to stay. Iran. I'm going to pull 3 cards about Iran. And what their standing is right now. So there's Iran and Israel and Dumpy. I'm getting a like a fending things off kind of thing. The 9 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles. It's not beneficial for either attack to occur. The 10 of Wands. This is a complex issue with many layers. We may see a couple of bombs tossed around. I'm just seeing a lot of talk with world leaders, a lot of dialogue, a lot of, come on you guys, reel it in. Don't you love the way Dumpy's like, oh, Iran shouldn't have nuclear weapons, and he's the one that shut down the Iran nuclear deal that Obama put in place? He's such a loser. Such a loser. There's a bunch of high school kids going by. I'm assuming. So, all right, let's take a look at something else. Let's take a look at let me think about the most important thing right now. Let's actually take a look at the remember I mentioned distraction. The murder bill. Notice how nobody said anything about the murder bill lately? See what's going on behind the scenes. To go to war with a country that, now we're not sure if Iran has a nuclear weapon. Let's ask that. It's not just, you know, when we're in the nuclear age, it's not just like, oh, let's go to war. It's like, it's a very complicated thing. It doesn't just happen. I'm not including Putin invading Iran, Ukraine. All right. The bill. Is the murder bill still being worked on behind the scenes? Why do I get a no? Is the big bad murder bill, has it sort of fallen apart? No. Is the big bad murder bill being delayed? Yes. It's being delayed. Is the big bad murder bill being reconstructed? Reconfigured? Not really. I get this sense that the climate isn't right for them to like shove it down everyone's throat and just push it through. The political climate isn't right. So I just pulled 3 cards about that. Airplane door bulldozer. Yeah, it's being bulldozed. The big bad murder bill. Even if you heard, honestly, even if you heard, oh, they passed it, which you won't. But even if you did, I've always gotten this. It doesn't matter because it won't happen. It won't be put in effect. Airplane door. This is a need for some of the MAGA Republicans to escape. I think there's talk of being held accountable in some way. And they're looking for the outdoor. They're looking for the escape because it's not going well with the American people. And honestly, it got, there was a bulldozing energy about the protests when I think it was about 12 million people got out on the streets. I think that kind of bulldozed things. Unless they turn this country into, entirely into an authoritarian regime, the bill will just fail. It won't work. It won't, even if they, quote unquote passed it. Now they've seen what the American people will do when they're furious. And don't think for 1 second, like if you're not picking up on the collective energy, good for you. Because it's like plate smashing rage. It's not you. I have frustrations in my life like we all do, but it's not just that. Okay, let's ask one more question. Let's ask about ICE in LA today. We'll use a deck of character. ICE in LA today. We'll just ask about in LA. I know Sadhguru showed up today for a program that was scheduled ahead of time. That's some big high vibe energy, similar to the Pope live streaming into Chicago. So let's really ride that wave of high vibrational frequency. Keep your frequency high. It was just a matter of time till someone started working on their lawn. If you get into a frustration, or if you get into a funk, chant Om for like 5 minutes. Om, Om, over and over for 5 minutes, and everything will shift. I promise you. ICE. It's shabbily put together. These ICE raids are shabbily put together, and people are going to come into we the people are going to come into you are not going to violate our rights. So the stronger our sense of self, the less power ICE has. If you think that these people have real power, these MAGAs and these ICE agents and these Border Patrol agents and these Christian Ohms and Steve Millers and the Tom Homans and all the rest of the bozos, if you think they have real power, they don't. We have spiritual power. We just got to stick with it because it's so exponentially more potent. They got nothing. They're miserable POSs. They got nothing. We have the power. The people have the power. So breathe deeply. Know that this too shall pass. It's right here on my arm. It's tattooed on my arm, just to remind me. And that it's really important to not be spending a lot of time and a lot of energy just kind of mulling over what you don't want, what we don't want, what we don't want, personally and collectively. It does no good to be mulling that over constantly. Make sure we discipline ourselves. Let's make sure we discipline ourselves to be going towards what we do want. And on that note, I'll let you go. I'm glad they waited till the end of my video to start trimming the hedges. I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll be back tomorrow with Off the Ledge and a pop-up, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, our Psychic News Network live stream. Please hit the thumbs up, please subscribe, and please join. And please book a reading, psychicannetdion.com. I'm going out to market myself now. Namaste.